A very good morning to you all, ladies and gentlemen. We warmly welcome you to the market opening ceremony celebrating the listing of Windforce Limited on the Colombo Stock Exchange. The listing follows a remarkable initial public offering by the company, through which it raised 3.2 billion rupees. The listing of Windforce Limited is also recorded as the largest capital raising since 2011. The issue set a robust cornerstone with an oversubscription of 8 times within the first day of its offer. The shares, which are listed on the main board of the CSE, has been classified under the utilities sector. Considering limitations brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic with regards to hosting public gatherings, the event today accommodates a limited invitees. Therefore, today's event is live streamed through the CSE social media platforms, and we welcome our online audience this morning. To commence the proceedings this morning, we present the official CSE 35th anniversary video, followed by the corporate video of Windforce Limited.
Banking on the entrepreneurial spirit of the Sri Lankan people, the Colombo Stock Exchange builds on a share trading tradition that has existed in Sri Lanka for over a century. The business of share trading that commenced with plantation companies in 1896 continues to thrive today as a matured and vibrant stock market that mobilizes capital flows of over 300 billion rupees a year.
After 35 years of the stock exchange, we have leveraged on the combined experience and expertise of the industry to leapfrog on multiple fronts. As we look towards a possible re-rating of the market upwards, what is on the cards are major infrastructure developments, new product introductions, widening of the investor base, building a sustainable business model, and most importantly, working with the government and the regulator to position the CSE as a pivotal point for capital raising.
The CSE in its present form began in 1985 when the Colombo Securities Exchange Guarantee Limited was incorporated as a company limited by guarantee formed by 7 stockbroker firms. Today, as the operator of the stock market in Sri Lanka, we offer state-of-the-art pre-trade, trade and post-trade platforms. Our stakeholder base also includes the regulator, the Securities and Exchange Commission of Sri Lanka, 285 companies, over 700,000 local and foreign institutional and individual investors, 150 members of staff of the stock exchange, and other market intermediaries who go and make up the ecosystem of the Sri Lankan capital market.
Stock exchange operations around the globe have evolved significantly over the past 35 years, and so has the CSE. Our trading operations, which started with an open outcry system and investors visiting the public trading floor, today is delivered through a state-of-the-art multi-asset class automated trading system and a central depository system. To mark its 35th anniversary year, CSE has engaged in a drive to digitalize all stakeholder touchpoints in the stock market, enabling end-to-end connectivity electronically.
CSE over the years have invested in technology because we understand a robust, secure and cutting-edge technology is the backbone of a modern exchange. Today our IT systems and infrastructure supports a sustainable business model by securing processing transactions, generating accurate and real-time market data and offering speedy, convenience, reliable access to the market users. We have also focused strengthening our information and cybersecurity and building internal capabilities to support the market-wide digitization strategy.
Establishing regulatory readiness to navigate through a Sri Lankan business landscape that has changed substantially since CSE was first established has been a material focus.
Regulation must evolve to support the development plan or the development strategy of the exchange. and that is something that we have always followed. Compared to the inception of the Colombo Stock Exchange 35 years ago, we have been able to transform our listing framework to make it really attractive for issuers to come and raise capital by listing their securities through the Colombo Stock Exchange. And for this purpose, we have been able to diversify our listing platforms and listing boards, giving them various listing options to benefit. In terms of overall regulation, our focus has always been investor protection, creating and maintaining a fair and orderly market, and also facilitating capital formation.
As we celebrate 35 years, the CSE has taken decisive steps to diversify from a single product market to one that offers multiple products. Real estate investment trusts, the creation of an OTC market for repos on corporate debt, trading of gold products, and stock borrowing and lending are already in the process of being introduced. On the regulatory and governance fronts, the new SEC Act, we believe, will be an important development covering regulatory changes required to continue to safeguard investor rights.
The investor base in the Sri Lankan stock market has grown steadily over the last 35 years, and measures taken by CSE to increase the retail investor base and foreign investment fund flows rapidly to create a vibrant securities market have been focused and consistent. We have used multiple strategies to attract local and foreign investors. End-to-end digitalization is helping us to widen the local investor base. The Invest Sri Lanka series has been effective in taking the message of our stock market and opportunities globally, and in attracting foreign fund flows into the country. As we look ahead, CSE envisions to play a competitive role and be among the leading regional markets, harnessing our key strengths of the established infrastructure and the reputation built over 35 years.
Over the last 35 years, we have evolved, we have changed, we have developed. But one thing that remains unchanged is our focus on maintaining the integrity and the quality of the market.
We will continue our journey towards success, and we value our stakeholders whose confidence in us stood unaltered. I would like to recognize the role played by our listed companies, our investors, and all market intermediaries who placed confidence in the CSE over the past 35 years. I also recognize the untiring efforts of board members, present and past, as well as the CSE staff, including those who served previously.
Colombo's Stock Exchange, a transformative past, a vibrant future.
Resilience, a force that keeps us going, keeps the world turning. We hack and we soar. Yet nature keeps giving, keeps blooming for us. Every day we resolve to see a better world. Yet consumerism gets the better of us, lulling us into its sweet embrace. Our lives overcome with the temptations of energy consumption. Our resilient world is slowly succumbing to the effects of global warming. Climate change is gradually eating away our precious world. The time to reclaim resilience is now. As the largest force to reckon with in the renewable energy industry in Sri Lanka, we at Windforce are giving our all to saving our environment via energy conservation, investing in 3 diversified offerings: wind power, solar power, and small hydropower. The first Sri Lankan company to establish solar plants in Pakistan, Ukraine, and Uganda, made possible by our exceptional engineering prowess. Because we believe in creating a resilient future regardless of the chaos. We are indeed strong advocates of renewable energy. Energy that does not replete. Energy that is resilient and therefore can be renewed over and over again. Reducing our carbon footprint saving an annual rate of 390,500 metric tons, feeding a total of 365 gigawatt hours per annum to the national grids, and an installed capacity of 218 megawatts. We are working towards nurturing our world and strengthening it for the generations to come, powered by a total of 27 plants established locally and internationally. We are staying true to our mission and are well on our way to making our Sri Lanka and eventually the world a true sanctuary of conscious living towards a resilient world.
PLC that this is the first IPO that we are experiencing in 2021, but as Nishara mentioned earlier, it is also the largest IPO we've had in 10 years. So it is a very special day for us, but let me start off by recognizing some very important people here today. Mr. Janak Hydramani, the founding chair of Windforce, Mr. Ranil Patirana, chairman of Windforce, Mr. Aski Akbar Ali, vice chair of Windforce, Mr. Manjul Pereira, managing director of Windforce, and the many shareholders, management, and staff of Windforce PLC, my fellow directors of the stock exchange, the representatives of the managers to the issue, Capital Alliance and CTC LSA, many members of the stock exchange staff and management and media. As I mentioned, we are quite delighted with having this first IPO on the stock exchange being the one of Windforce. It is a 3.2 billion rupee IPO, which would give this stock market a significant boost. And as you might have seen in that initial CSE video, as of 9 months ago when we relaunched a strategic plan for the stock exchange, one of our 5 priority areas was bringing more companies for listing for equity as well as debt, to make the Colombo Stock Exchange a more vibrant place for intermediating capital from investors into companies that needed it. And we could not have asked for a better poster child for that than Windforce. We are also delighted, and as I said, it made me proud as I watched the video, when I think about the impact this company is having in terms of its renewable energy strategy. And it's quite coincidental we're having this IPO on what is World Earth Day, which would fit very well. I don't know if that was planned, but it fits very well with the theme of the company's purpose. And I don't have to elaborate on the importance of companies like this who are taking the lead in a commercial manner on dealing with one of the most important risks to our planet and humanity, which is climate change. Now, as I mentioned, it is one of our goals to encourage more companies like this, large and small, to come onto this Colombo Stock Exchange, and we have done a lot this year. And I hope that those of you who are involved in the process from the company and the manager's side were able to experience the renewed streamlining of the processes. I understand the entire process of filing took 3 weeks, which is all work that we had prepared for earlier in the year in making this process much easier for companies like you. And I hope that the CSE and our management and staff have been able to facilitate this in the best possible manner, because we, as I said at the beginning, are here to welcome you with open arms, with a warm heart, and we hope that more and more companies will take the lead from Windforce and be appearing up here, ringing the bell on their IPO day in the coming months and year. So with that, I would want to wish the company a very, very, first of all, congratulate the company on its success here, but also wish you the best in your strategic plans, in the growth of this company, and in particular your post-listing stock price performance. We hope that this will add something completely and significantly different to our stock market, and we're looking forward to seeing this company get much more adoption in our stock market once trading starts, and we hope that you will stay engaged with us going forward, and we're ready to facilitate anything you need to make sure that your post-listing experience goes smoothly as well. So thank you once again for everyone for being here. I think it's a landmark day for us, for the company, and for the capital market overall. And finally, thank you for everyone who played a role in getting Windforce to this point.
Thank you, Mr. Fernando. May I now invite Mr. Ranil Pathrana, the chairman of Windforce Limited, to the podium to share remarks on behalf of the company.
Good morning. Thank you, Tumit, Chairman of the Stock Exchange, CEO, and all other senior members of the CSE, my fellow directors and shareholders, and the media, and our co-managers, Capital Alliance and CTC LSA. I'm very happy to have this opportunity to speak a few words on a historic day for Windforce. The Windforce journey started approximately 12 years ago with the key promoters wanting to pursue their then government strategy of opening up wind power sector for private investment. And as you can imagine, at that time, given the kind size of investment that was required, there was much concerns and for the risk involved, and there was whether the wind will blow, which way it will blow, and that was how it started. It has been an amazing journey, and I'm very happy that Mr. Janak Hydramani is going to ring the bell today, because he will recollect visiting Coimbatore, India, where when we told them that we are putting up a 10 megawatt plant, they looked around, there were thousands of megawatts all over, and it was like, we were a little ant in that. So that's how we started. It's a remarkable journey. Led by Azgi, our deputy chairman, Manjula and the team, the initial project was a success, and we were fortunate. And from that point, Windforce expanded the wind, the hydro, and the solar, as you would have seen on the video. Coincidentally, it was coincident, today is Earth Day. And I was reminded this by my deputy chairman and several others. But what I would like to say is, for Windforce, every day is an Earth Day. We are playing that role, and we will continue to play that role into the future. We will support, with the world moving towards clean energy options, and our government policy to achieve a larger percentage of power generation through renewables by 2030, Windforce is confident of continuing to grow in Sri Lanka and overseas and become a truly global clean energy power company. On behalf of Windforce, I wish to thank the Colombo Stock Exchange for expediting and supporting the listing. We really appreciate all the senior support from CSE and everyone else from the CSE who supported us over the last, I think, 4 weeks to 5 weeks. Thank our co-managers, CTC-LSA and Capital Lands, and anyone else who helped us to get to this point. I wish the CSE all the very best and hope that Windforce can play a significant role in the future development and growth of Sri Lanka's capital markets. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Patharana. Now it's almost time for us to open the market. Therefore, I would like to invite the Chief Executive Officer of the Colombo Stock Exchange, Mr. Rajiv Bandaranaike, to accompany our guests onto the podium. I kindly invite onto the podium Mr. Janak Hydramani, Founding Chairman, Windforce Limited, Mr. Dumit Fernando, Chairman of the Colombo Stock Exchange, Mr. Ranil Patharana, Chairman, Windforce Limited, Mr. Azki Akbar Ali, Vice Chairman, Windforce Limited, Mr. Manjula Pereira, Managing Director, Windforce Limited, Mr. Moiz Najmuddin, Director, Windforce Limited, Mr. Rea Bebodana, Mr. Dilshan Veerasekara, Director, CSE, Mr. Jayant Fernando, Director of the CSE, Mr. Suren De Silva, Director of the CSE, Mr. Zakir Muhammad Ali, Director, Chief Executive Officer of CLSA Holdings, Mr. Deshan Pusparaja, Managing Director, Global Markets and Investment Banking of CAL. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Now, may I kindly invite onto the podium CEO of the Colombo Stock Exchange, Mr. Rajiv Bandaranaike, to deliver the vote of thanks. I beg your pardon. We would now move on to the presentation of commemorative plaques to our guests. Therefore, I would like to invite Chairman of the Colombo Stock Exchange, Mr. Dumit Fernando, to present a token of appreciation and the certificate of listing from the CSE. May I also invite CSE CEO, Mr. Rajiv Bandaranaike, to come forward during this presentation. I would now like to also invite Mr. Janak Hydramani, Founding Chairman, Windforce Limited, along with Chairman of Windforce Limited, Mr. Ranil Pathirana, to receive the token and listing certificate. Thank you, Mr. Fernando, Mr. Bandaranaike, and gentlemen. With that, we end today's market opening ceremony organized to celebrate the listing of Windforce Limited at the CSE. I would like to thank our distinguished guests and all our viewers across Facebook and YouTube for joining us today. I wish you all a very pleasant day.